The classical period covered the height of the Greek culture and Roman Empire from its rise to its fall, about 500 BC to 500 AD. The people of these ancient societies developed many of the ideas that today make up our mathematics, science, literature, and art. Their many art forms included sculpture, painted pottery, murals, and mosaics. The purpose of their art was to show the importance of people and leaders, as well as gods and goddesses. The characteristics of classical art include the following. Figures look idealized or perfect. Bodies look active, more convincingly. Bodies are often nude, sometimes draped in togas. Faces are bland and calm, without emotion. Scenes show heroic figures or real people doing real tasks of daily life. Little background or sense of perspective, when distant objects look smaller and far away. This statue is called Discobolus. It is a Roman copy of a Greek original. It was carved around 200 BC. Let's look at some of the characteristics that we can see in Discobolus. Right away, he's nude. If we look at his face, we can see that it has no emotion. Look at his body. It's perfect. This is the ideal specimen. And what is he doing? He's an Olympian, a real person. And what is he doing? He's throwing a discus, a real task. And finally, look at his body. It's as if his body's been frozen in mid-motion. This is the representation of a body looking active. The medieval period in Europe, which lasted roughly from 500 to 1400 AD, was characterized by the rise of feudalism and the controlling power of the Catholic Church in people's lives. The art form consisted of stained glass windows, sculptures, illuminated manuscripts, paintings, and tapestries. The purpose of this art was to teach religion to people who could not read or write. Characteristics found in medieval art are: subjects are mostly religious. Figures look flat and stiff with little real movement. Important figures are large, fully clothed, draped in deeply carved, stiff-looking clothes. Faces are solemn with little emotion. Paintings use vibrant colors. Flat, two-dimensional painted figures. And finally, the backgrounds are a single color, often gold, with no interest in creating any realistic space. This tympanum of a medieval church is called the Mission of the 12 Apostles. Right away, we can see in the middle, the largest figure, obviously, is the most important figure. If we look closely at him, he has a halo. That means this is religious. If we look closely at his face, he has a solemn expression. There's very little movement, as if the characters are posed stiff. The clothes are deeply carved, and the purpose of this art is to teach people about the Ten Commandments. The Renaissance included a rebirth in interest in classical culture. It began around 1400 and lasted until about 1650 AD. People rediscovered the writings and artworks of the Greeks and Romans, borrowed their ancient ideas, and combined them in new ways. The art forms during the Renaissance included sculptures, murals, drawings, and paintings. The purpose of this art was to show the importance of people and nature, not just religion. The characteristics found in Renaissance art include both religious and non-religious scenes. Figures look idealized or perfect. Bodies may look active or moving. Bodies may be nude or clothed. Real people doing real tasks of daily life. Faces express what people are thinking. Colors respond to the light that falls on them. Interest in nature, lots of natural detail. Full, deep backgrounds with perspective. Paintings are symmetrical, balanced on both sides. This is the School of Athens, painted by Raphael. This painting has a lot of the same characteristics that we'd find in classical works, such as real people doing real tasks, figures look idealized or perfect, bodies may look active and moving. But there are certain characteristics that stand out that make this Renaissance. This is a perfect example of symmetry in painting. If I were to highlight the statues on both sides, draw a line down the middle, highlight the groups of people, it would look as if it was a butterfly. Another characteristic is a vanishing point, or 3D perspective. Lastly, we can see a typical Renaissance characteristic, and that's the use of light and shadow.